My name's Hadia Aslam. I'm a doctor. I'm a general medical doctor from the UK. I belong to the Pashto-speaking community from Attock in Pakistan, and I've lived between Pakistan and the UK for many years. I have a special interest in refugee health. I've worked in many refugee camps all over the world. I also have a special interest in disaster medicine as a result. I'm a consultant in the NGO sector. I've set up 2 medical and dental charities, one in Europe in the refugee camps and the other one in Lebanon. And I'm here today because I'm a consultant for this particular sector. So I'm offering my volunteering and my time to help develop a medical service for a group of volunteers here in Dera Ismail Khan. Pakistan mein jo bhi situation hai, for me it's the worst situation that I've seen for a community overall. ठीक है, इसका मतलब ये है कि जो पाकिस्तान की सैलाब से पहले जो पाकिस्तानियों के हालात थे यहाँ पे जहाँ पे हम सर्व कर रहे हैं इस वक्त, they were probably very very bad to start with, और सैलाब की वजह से they've gotten much worse. So this is something to consider for a lot of us. जब हम एड्रेस करते हैं इस प्रॉब्लम को, हमें ये बात दिमाग में रख लेनी चाहिए कि सैलाब से पहले पाकिस्तानियों का हाल काफ़ी बुरा था, ख़ासकर वो इलाके जो अफेक्ट हुए हैं. जो औरतें हैं यहाँ की, लेडीज़ हैं, they're very vulnerable anyway in a society, unfortunately, like Pakistan. So it becomes extremely worse when their homes are taken away from them, because those are their safe spaces. Those have been taken away from them as a result of the flooding. So they've become extra vulnerable, so more vulnerable than they were before the floods came. मुझे एक चीज़ जो मेरे लिए काफ़ी यूज़फुल रही है वो है फेसबुक. जो नेटवर्किंग हुई है फेसबुक के थ्रू. मुझे जब पाकिस्तान में सैलाब का पता चला, जब न्यूज़ रिपोर्ट्स मैंने देखी हैं पाकिस्तान में जो सिचुएशन थी, तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली एक दिल में एक डिज़ायर आई कि आई नीड टू बी इन पाकिस्तान, आई नीड टू बी देयर. आई हैव वर्कड इन अदर कंट्रीज, आई हैव वर्कड इन यूरोप, इन द मिडल ईस्ट, but I need to be in Pakistan right now. तो वो तो प्लान करना नहीं पड़ा, it just happened. Facebook के through, I contacted a few people that I knew. They've put me in touch with some independent volunteers in the grassroots sector here in Dera Ismail Khan, because there are many areas that have not been covered by relief efforts in Dera Ismail Khan. There is a very big need, so that's why I decided to come here. The situation in Pakistan before the floods was pretty dire. It was pretty extreme. This means that when the relief efforts for the floods stop, the situation in Pakistan will continue in that manner before what we had before the floods. It will stay the same. Obviously, the floods will have made the problems worse and the healthcare needs will have become extreme by that stage. So I think it's necessary that we continue with our efforts. After I leave, when I go back to England, my plan is to continue with the medical efforts by employing a team here and providing the healthcare in a mobile fashion to different areas, different villages in Dera Ismail Khan and possibly beyond. मैंने पाकिस्तान में पढ़ा है. I've been to one of the Pakistani Air Force schools in Kamra. So from age 9 to 18 I was in Pakistan. So I learned Urdu then, क्योंकि घर में पश्तो बोलते हैं, only पश्तो, इजाज़त नहीं थी English बोलने की. और as we know, a lot of Pashto speaking families don't speak Urdu. Then when I went to school in Pakistan, I learned Urdu for the very first time in those schools. I learned Punjabi from the books, and of course around me I was observing all the time. So I think there is a very big plus, and it's a positive that I speak these languages, because I also understand the culture of these people. When I speak Pashto, for example, with a patient and they are not expecting to hear this language, immediately there is a different connection. They open up, they trust you more, they believe your advice more, and they give you more information. And this happens not only here in Pakistan in these villages, it happens also in the UK, where I live amongst a Pakistani Pashto speaking population. तो अगर मैंने consultation करनी हो in Pashto, I will say सासु सुनुम दे, से तकलीफ दे सासु, दर्द कीगी सासु न कीगी, तो खैराजी तबश्ता दे. So I don't know if you're understanding what I'm saying or anybody's understanding what I'm saying, but these are very simple terms to take a history. And a history is probably the most important thing when it comes to diagnosing a patient, because you can take most of the information for a diagnosis from the history, and the rest then comes with the examination and investigations. So if you take an accurate history with the right terminology in the language that the person speaks, you will get very far with your consultation. Unfortunately, Pakistan का जो impression है as a country internationally, it's not the best, and we all know this. ठीक है, अक्सर हम denial में होते हैं पाकिस्तान में कि ये चीज़ गलत है, बाहर वाले गलत हैं, हम ठीक हैं. मगर the truth is there is unfortunately a very bad impression that has been caused about Pakistan internationally. देखिए, I'm a misfit. Truthfully, I'm a misfit in my own community. I'm a misfit when I'm here in Pakistan as a British Pakistani. I'm a misfit when I'm in England as a Pakistani Pathan Muslim. So there is an identity problem almost for me wherever I go. तो मेरी जो कम्युनिटी की औरतें हैं जब वो देखती हैं मुझे तो उनको समझ नहीं आती, मगर वो हमेशा बेनिफिट ले लेती हैं मेरे से, because obviously I'm a doctor and I want to be there for them. तो एक रिस्पेक्ट है उनकी आंखों में और उनकी नज़र में मेरे लिए, I know this. But whether I can sit with them and joke with them and share certain life experiences with them, I don't know. I don't know. You connect on different levels with different people all over the world, and that applies to my community as well. As a doctor, you think that you become harder as you're going through your years, because remember, we also have these experiences at work. We see life and death situations at work. But when you're in refugee camps or when you're in places like Pakistan where there is a very big need, there is starvation, there has been a natural disaster, for me, I find every time I go to a new location, a new country, it's always the children that get me, that really grip me, and I cannot shake those stories, you know. So I think I can give you probably a very big number of these stories. But overall, I have to say to you that when you see the vulnerability that the children have to be exposed to and they go through, and the difficulties that they go through in their very young years, I can never forget. Normally, I have a lot of problems shedding those thoughts and those memories. I posted on my social media because it was one of my first clinics here in Dera Ismail Khan, and I just kept seeing the misery. There is severe misery right now. I can't find any other word to describe what's going on here in Pakistan right now with these people. But many patients I found, they needed to express themselves. And when you give them that time to express themselves, I heard them talk about how death would be better for them rather than this life. And then they were also wishing death for their children, which is, if you think about it, a real worry. It's a real worry that this is the state, the mental state of the Pakistanis right now. जो grassroots sector होता है, जो independent volunteers होते हैं, हमेशा वो बहुत resourceful होते हैं. वो हमेशा से they do things because they want to do things. उनकी कोई लालच नहीं होती, payment नहीं होती उनके लिए. तो जो एक combined effort है हमारी जो local community है यहाँ पे डेरा इस्माइल खान में, it's quite impressive. It's very impressive, in fact. They're able to mobilize aid very, very quickly, and they're able to mobilize each other, encourage each other. They're working very long hours in very intense heat. Sometimes they're not eating until late in the evening, you know. So I think for me, to see this is extremely encouraging that the Pakistanis are helping the Pakistanis. If fate gave me the opportunity to continue with this work that I do in Pakistan or anywhere else in the world, I would continue. I would not stop. I don't see a reason for me to stop. And I've created my own life in a way that I will not have any obstructions when it comes to doing this type of work. मैं remind खुद को तो नहीं कराती. हमेशा मुझे reminders आते हैं एक बात के कि I'm extremely lucky and I'm extremely blessed. अल्लाह ने मुझे इतना कुछ दिया है. I could have been that girl that I saw today with those very deep ulcers, malnourished. That could have been me, you know, but Allah decided that I was going to be Hadia, and that child was going to be that child. So I'm constantly feeling lucky when I'm around these people. Allah has given me a lot to be grateful for, and I'm very grateful. I hope. Happiness does not come in material form. Happiness and contentment are two very different things. I found people who have been in the most extreme, impoverished state, and they are content. I've seen people who live in mansions and they don't sleep well at night.